Before you start any of the printmaking stuff, you are going to go to Station 4. You are going to get a sheet of newsprint. You are going to fold that newsprint in half, and you are going to put your name, number, and class period on the outside in pencil of the newsprint, and then you need to leave this in the open position. Very important, remembering where you put your newsprint, because you will not be able to move this or touch it because your hands will be dirty. You're just going to plop something on it. Step 1 for printmaking is you need to go ahead and pick up your plate. Once you have picked up your plate, you come over to the printing station. At the printing station, if you're worried about your clothes at all, you want to wear an apron. Also very important, you need to get 1 pair of gloves. There's 1 pair per person. So once you have your gloves, take care of them. You can't take another. There are directions up top that tell you exactly what to do. We're going to watch the first step. So you take your print plate, you take one of the brushes, you put on a little ink, and then you rub it really hard into the plate. You don't want to put on too much ink. Too much ink means you've got to do a lot of work to take all that off. So you rub until you appear to have no ink on your brush before you reload. Once you have your plate all filled with ink, you go on to the next station. You can see this is what your plate should look like. You're rubbing it all around. You're going in a circular back and forth motion. Your plate should look shiny black. The main thing is do not use too much ink. All right, at station number 2, which again, there is a sign and then also a set of directions. You take your tarlatan wipe and you ball it up if that hasn't already been done for you. Keeping your gloves on and watching your clothes, you'll notice how kind of one side is going to be flat and the other side is going to be all bunched up, which is where your palm goes. You are going to take it and you are going to rub in a circular motion, and she's holding her plate simply so you can see it. You're probably going to want to leave your plate on the table. And you need to do this until now, instead of your plate looking shiny, the plate should look dull. After you complete station 2, you now need to you need to move your print plate to station 4 on top of your piece of paper. Very important that you center it on the paper, and then now you take your gloves off. Notice you're kind of folding them inside themselves, and then you put them in the trash can. You now do not touch any ink stuff unless you're willing to have it on your hands for like weeks. Then you come over to the paper station. You're going to take 1 piece of paper from the bottom out, and you're going to slide it up and set it on the towels. Once you remove a piece of paper, you also need to put back a piece of paper. So the paper, new fresh paper is always on top, new paper is always on the bottom, and you're pushing it so it sinks underneath the water. Then you are folding a towel over and you are pressing out all of the water that you can from the piece of paper. You are then going to take your paper, carefully line it up so that it is even on your print plate. The newsprint doesn't really matter as long as it's covering everywhere. Kind of give it a squish in place and then make your sandwich. Fold your newsprint over the top. You are then ready to start printing, and you are noticing how she picks it up by sliding it like a pizza onto her hand. At the printing press, you'll notice there are several blankets. So you want the first blanket to be laid down flat. Then your sandwich goes underneath on the press. You kind of center it, make sure it's all squished down and even. These, if you need those moved, you need to ask the teacher to help you move them because it's important that we keep it even. And then you fold the other 2 blankets up over top. Everything should appear to lay very, very flat. Then you're going to roll it through the press.
Start printing, you need to find the edge of your plate. So you're going to need to push your finger down onto the blankets and you'll find a little edge there. That's the edge of your plate. You need to take your board, keeping your finger on the edge of your plate, and then gently move your board until your finger is about halfway underneath the drum. Then you're going to take and put down the pressure. And as you can see, the drum is being lowered. You keep lowering this until you start to feel some resistance. Once you cannot go any further with the resistance, then stop. Now it's time to print. The final part is rolling the plate through, and the board is going to go in this direction, so then you need to take the handles and go in the opposite direction with your pressure. So you're going to take both your hands and gently pull the handles down. You might need another person to help you with this. And once it gets through, pass it through, lift up the 2 top blankets, pull them back, and you'll open up your newsprint. You can see that there's been pressure onto this, and you can see kind of an embossed outline. I like to go around the edge with my finger just to make sure that you get a nice, sharp, clean edge to this. Then the final step is to pull your print. And there's your print.
Once you have your print, you will take it and you will go over to the wire racks and you will stack from top to bottom as close together as possible, keeping them in numerical order. Okay, so this is how you store it. Your paper goes up top, your plate goes down below, and you are in numerical order with the other people in your class, stacking from the top of the rack to the bottom. Your newsprint will get put on this chair right here, and then you are cleared to let the next person come on in and print.